Yo, what's going on, everybody? It's your boy Naruto Explain here, bringing you guys another Boruto Two Blue Vortex discussion. Today, I want to talk to you guys about a major implication that we got in the last Boruto manga chapter, which is the fact that Boruto Uzumaki is not only much stronger than before, but the fact that he's using toad summonings in combat and in a sneaky manner has led to many fans speculating on whether or not Boruto has somehow mastered Sage Mode during the 3-year time skip between Boruto, Naruto Next Generations, and Boruto Two Blue Vortex. I'll say it up front, while I have been vehemently against this idea in the past, to the point where I've said numerous times I don't like the concept of Boruto using Sage Mode, now that this moment's here and now that we have context for how he's actually potentially gotten that Sage Mode because it looks like Kashin Koji is alive, I do believe that this is actually something that has taken place in the story, and in today's video we're not only going to explain the foreshadowing for Boruto learning Sage Mode, but we'll also explore why narratively this makes the most sense for the story itself. So in terms of the foreshadowing for Boruto learning Sage Mode, we got to start right up front with a couple of the most important signs of foreshadowing that we've seen in universe. As we were told in Naruto's manga, in order to even attempt to do Sage Mode training, it's required for you to possess a large amount of chakra, a enormous amount of chakra, and without it you can't even hope to complete the training properly. Boruto's chakra reserves, they're not as large as Naruto's. In no way am I saying that base Boruto, without karma, without the buffs that he's gotten by being 100% Otsutsuki, I'm not saying Boruto's chakra levels before all that stuff were on Naruto's levels. However, it is worth noting that Naruto is an exception when it comes to the enormous chakra pool. Under no circumstances should he be what we consider to be the standard, but we'll touch on that later. For now, let's look at why people think that Boruto would only be able to master Sage Mode due to the buff that he got from Momoshiki giving him the karma seal and Boruto becoming 100% Otsutsuki now. Why those people aren't just wrong, but they also aren't paying attention to the story itself. The fact of the matter is that we were already told that Boruto's body met the requirements to learn Sage Mode well before Boruto even began starting to use any of the power from the karma seal. He didn't even know how to tap into any of that power when this happened. The problem comes from the fact that most people who say this about Boruto are likely the people that skipped the anime episode where this was stated. I think that there are times where people overestimate how high the bar is for an entry point to Sage Mode in terms of the chakra levels required, and I think it's partly because a lot of people will associate Sage Mode directly with Naruto, or they'll associate with Hashirama because Naruto's the one that we've seen use Sage Mode in some of the most iconic fights in the series and the most number of uses in the series, and Hashirama has one of the most impressive feats that come from somebody using Sage Mode when he was able to hold down the Ten Tails. However, that's not the correct thing to do. Naruto and Hashirama, they're an exception to the rule when it comes to high chakra levels. Neither one of them are the standard. Naruto on his own, without using any of Kurama's chakra, was able to produce 1,000 shadow clones in the first chapter of the Naruto manga, and this is after he spent a whole day and night training to master the shadow clone and multi-shadow clone jutsu, just as your regular person who has enough chakra to undergo Sage Mode training and master it is clearly an elite. But there's no comparison between their Sage Mode and Naruto's Sage Mode or Hashirama's Sage Mode, because those characters possess such a large amount of chakra on their own that they can draw in far more nature energy because they have a larger amount of chakra to equally balance out the amount of nature energy that they draw in. Boruto on his own, without the karma seal, he's never had Naruto's massive chakra reserves. Jiraiya possessed enough chakra to undergo Sage Mode training when he was younger than Boruto is currently. Kabuto, after pumping himself full of the DNA of the Sound 5, and Orochimaru and Karin Uzumaki, was able to get enough chakra to undergo Sage Mode training. But none of those characters came anywhere close to the amount of chakra that someone like Naruto had, and that's important to keep in mind due to the bar for what counts as enormous chakra required for Sage Mode training not being a Naruto level, not being a Hashirama level, but being closer to what you saw with Jiraiya. The other reason Boruto learning Sage Mode is something that works narratively is because Boruto now has a condition to fulfill. That's been a huge aspect of him seeking out power. He lost his parents because Kawaki sealed them away. He lost his childhood and his identity because Kawaki stole it by using Ada's Shinjutsu. Boruto pulling up into the village having a mastery of Sage Mode is another nod towards him being the rightful son of Naruto and the rightful grandson of Minato the 4th Hokage. They were two men who were perfect sages. Boruto mastering Sage Mode is going to be something that is a hard piece of evidence evidence in his quest to reclaim his birthright. The Shinjutsu telling people he's not Naruto's son, that's never gonna go away until the Shinjutsu is reversed. But as Ada told us in the first chapter of Boruto Two Blue Vortex, it's easier to create new events and memories than it is to convince people that what they remember is actually a fallacy. Boruto having Sage Mode is going to start some conversations in the village if there are those who see him using that power. Narratively, you also address a big elephant in the room if Boruto does have Sage Mode, which is that it makes the Momoshiki problem a lot easier to control. A common misconception that a lot of fans still have to this day is that Momoshiki can't take over Boruto's body anymore, which is absolutely false. So this is not me with headcanon. This comes from the fact that people saw Momoshiki revive Boruto from death, and Momoshiki say that he's lost his vessel as a means to resurrect inside of Boruto's body. When Kashin Koji killed Jigen, who literally had Ishiki Otsuki literally physically inside of his body controlling Jigen, Ishiki was resurrected using Jigen's body because the karma had already been extracted onto Jigen. Momoshiki only lost the ability to resurrect using Boruto's body. But under the right circumstances, he can still hijack his body as the dominant personality, mainly when Boruto's chakra levels get too low or Momoshiki can take over. Sage Mode mastery means that Boruto has mastered meditation and now has a calm sense of mind. He's in better control of his emotion. A stronger sense of mind and a stronger spirit makes it harder for Momoshiki to take over. Mastering Sage Mode means that Boruto is only using his own chakra merely to balance out the nature energy that he's drawing in, which due to the massive increase that the karma seal gives the user, since a true mastery of karma means they have access to a large chunk of the chakra of the Otsuki who gave them the karma seal, the amount of nature energy that Boruto could draw in would far exceed anything Naruto was able to do due to the enormous chakra levels that Momoshiki has compared to Naruto without Kurama. And you're talking about stacking chakra at this point. If Boruto were a video game character, his energy bar would be already pretty high, but then you're talking about adding double or triple the amount of energy on top of that, maybe even higher by adding Momoshiki's chakra on top of Boruto, allowing for more nature energy to be brought in and balanced out by Boruto's chakra via the karma seal being used, which by extension makes the Sage Mode even stronger because of the enormous amount of nature energy Boruto's now allowed to take in. Using nature energy allows for a more viable option for Boruto to avoid depleting his own chakra levels, while also giving him access to more jutsu and fighting styles by using nature energy. It's actually pretty scary to think of how broken Boruto's about to become, because in his base right now, he's already easily stronger than 6-pass QB Cloak Naruto and Rinnegan Sasuke, who fought against Jigen and then later fought against Ishiki. Sage Mode and a Karma Seal amp is a nightmare to consider scaling, and the only nightmare that's even bigger than that is what Boruto did to Code in the last Boruto manga chapter, which you can watch here.